3 o'clock yet? It's 2:59. I think it's 3 o'clock now. It is. We can begin. Blessings. Hello and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy spring equinox. It is such a beautiful day out here in the desert. I pray that wherever you are enjoying the juiciness, the sunshine, the sensual aspects of the sun on your skin, the sound of the birds singing, the breeze flowing over you, through your hair perhaps. May you be enjoying and soaking in all of the good vibes. Thank you everyone for joining me, and thank you all of my new subscribers. I am so very, very grateful for your subscribership. And I wanted to let you know that I'm running a spring special. So if you would like your very own personalized tarot card reading, contact me. My information is in the show more box, or at least it should be. If it's not there yet, it will be later. And I would be happy to send you all of the information. I do it on WhatsApp and through FaceTime. So I'll send you all of that info. Thank you so much again for being with me. Thank you for subscribing, for liking, for sharing. And because if you are a new subscriber, I just wanted to remind you that once you're subscribed, if you hit the bell next to the subscribe button, that will notify you so that when I do my live readings or anything else live or anything that I post, you will be notified so you can hop on if you are available to do that. And thank you, as always, everyone who joins me on Thursday mornings for my 10 a.m. live stream, 4D Trinity. It's evolving, transforming, just like us. And I'm so grateful for your presence there. I truly, truly am. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I'll check the comment box here in a little bit. First, let's give these cards a shuffle on this beautiful spring equinox day. Let's take a deep inhale and a full exhale, bringing our full awareness into this moment and into all of the blessings that are here for us. We call in our angels, our guides, ascended masters, all of those loved ones, those light beings, those blessed, angelic light beings that are connected to source, connected to love, our higher selves. We call in all of the wisdom of all of those beings that love us. We call in the wisdom of our animal totems, animal medicine, and we thank you so much for being here, for holding space for us. And I connect with my higher self that I may channel messages that are perfectly divine and synchronistic for one and all, for everyone who watches this video, here, now, and evermore. And so it is. Okay, I'm getting to divide these into 3. So we're going to go, there's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to pull 3 from the top row. You're going to help me. You know what? I had a feeling that this was going to happen, and I have not. I still haven't repaired the harmony card. I think it's time. That's it. I'm going this week. I promise. I promise. I promise. This is very powerful, though. This card represents the harmony card, which we will get into. And since it's our first card, that's pretty powerful. So let's keep going through this deck. We'll pick a second one. Ooh, there's a few. Traveling. Beautiful. Look at this. Landscapes abound. And one more. Past lives. Whoa. Amazing. Okay. So that's our top row. Our middle row, we're going to go ahead, and I'm getting to go right from the bottom. Flowering. This is really incredible. And here we go. A second one from the middle deck. Courage. Powerful. And compromise. Okay, so that's our middle row, and we'll go for our bottom row here. And adventure. Wow, this is so juicy, especially with that traveling card. And we'll pick another one. Celebration. Oh my, we are just in it, aren't we? And then a third one. Conditioning. Okay, beautiful. Let's go ahead and set these up. And it's so interesting, you know, I did a reading for someone this week, and a lot of these similar cards came up, and it's just interesting when we're going through cycles, through phases, how we all have so much in common. And I'm just going to have a look at the comment box here for a moment. Ronnie's here. Woo! Blessings and welcome, Ronnie. I'm so glad you could make it. So I know, this has come up twice. In the past year, it's in May, it's going to be a year since I've been doing these readings online. And this card has come up twice, only twice, I believe, since then. And there's a story to this way back in the day. It's illustrated in my book, The Reiki Apprentice, which there's links down below for all that stuff. I took acid, and I've been reading these cards since then for 20 years. And the next day, coming down from that beautiful LSD journey, I decided that certain cards matched certain people's aura and energy. And I was on a mission to give them their card, like the card that I felt represented them. It was very powerful at the time. And so I did. And upon my return, then I got to go to the Kinko's and make find copies of these cards and make color copies and actually remake the cards and cut them. So this is actually one that I had done myself, and with the sticky glue, stick it back on. But the harmony, the actual picture of the harmony card, the front of it has been gone and lost for some time. Anyway, it's come up a couple times since then, and I have promised that I would put it back, and I have yet to keep my promise. So I promised I will do that this week. So what this card represents, this card that you don't see anything on it about, it represents harmony, the one and the zero. If we think about this spiritually and metaphysically, what's going on is we get to embody our oneness first and foremost, right? All of the practices, very, very disciplined, but in a very, very gentle way. We get to honor, we get to show up with all of those practices that bring us back into a sense of unity consciousness, a sense of there is no separation between me and my sisters, me and my brothers, me and my family, me and my friends, me and strangers, where we are all one. And I know that can be very challenging because there's a lot of information in the world that says, no, we have to separate ourselves, whether it's through race, through politics, through money, through divisions and cultures and traditions. Yet we don't have to be a part of that. Last week's 4D Trinity, we talked about releasing mass consciousness. And these are aspects of mass consciousness, of old beliefs and old stories that have been passed on to us that in our youth now, right? We are realizing, this new generation coming up, that we don't see the division, we don't see the separation, and perhaps the way that other generations had or other generations did. And so we are allowing ourselves to see things differently. We are allowing ourselves to erase the lines that had at one point separated you from me energetically. We're recognizing that we are interconnected. There is a divine source and a divine sense that connects us all. And we are deciding through our conscious spiritual practice that that unifying force is love. The unifying force is light. And when we extend in that love and light, of course, with and for and to ourselves first and foremost, we generate self-healing. We generate the ability to uncover, right, the untruths in our life, which is interesting. This is at the bottom, conditioning, which we'll get to at the bottom, which is interesting too, because a lot of these beliefs or a lot of these things that drive us are so hidden way deep down in our subconscious that often we don't even know that they're driving. And it's layers upon layers of healing, of realization, of revelation, of peeling back the layers until we really start to get down. And sometimes you get down and there's even more of you in there to show you who you are. So that's the part of the oneness. It's participating in all of our practices that help us to remember that we are one, that allow us to come back to a sense of unification within ourselves, but also to simply extend in kindness towards others. As we learn to do that for ourselves, it is so much easier and such a beautiful gift we can extend to others. And as we begin to generate on that level of oneness, on that level of love, one loveness, what happens is we become a self-perpetuating motion vehicle. which means on a metaphysical level, your Merkaba, the energy vehicle, the invisible dynamics of how you exist beyond your physical body, through your aura, and beyond that in the invisible realms, all of your psychic, intuitive, multidimensional nature becomes calibrated. It's like a lawnmower, an old lawnmower, say, or just any lawnmower. Wait, I don't know how old people are watching this. Do they even have lawnmowers anymore? I remember talking about cassette tapes once, and someone was like, exactly, someone was like, what's a cassette tape? And I was like, okay, let's think about this in a different way. But think about a piece of machinery that you need to like pull the cord to get it going. You need to like vroom, 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 right? Maybe a motorboat is a better example. And what happens is, though, as we begin to generate more and more of our oneness realization, of our unity consciousness, of self-love, and begin to just with ease naturally extend that out beyond ourselves to our brothers and sisters, to people, places, and things everywhere, we begin to recognize the invisible realm. We begin to be invited into understanding that beautiful nature of love and how powerful that frequency truly is, how medicinal, how healing that medicine is, how much that medicine of one love, of unity consciousness, can create a powerful synchronistic healing and create a holy instant. It can create a divine appointment out of an appointment or a situation or a circumstance in which you felt otherwise. It's all by seeing with light sight, with your third eye activated. As your heart chakra becomes activated, your third eye becomes activated. As you practice your meditation, your stillness, and your consciousness of breath, your heart center gets activated. I believe and I teach that these are two in one, the same. They feed, they nourish each other. So as our oneness becomes activated through this card of harmony, we enter a 0 point, which is where we really begin to realize how powerful our actions, our words, our thoughts, and our deeds are. Because we're beginning to see in the light, we're beginning to see with our heart and our true eye, our third eye, lit and activated. And when we begin to see through the veils, we begin to understand that love really is the truth, and that fear and illusion and all of these aspects of the world really do not need to hamper us. We do not need to give them our validation in the same way as we used to through the stories we've been told about the world. And so we become lighter, we become freer in the world. We activate at a 0 point energy field, which is free, which is you don't need to seek validation from the world in order to be your true authentic self, right? You don't need to fit in to the way the world tells you that you need to fit in order to feel safe or that you belong. You understand a deeper sense of belonging. Now with that, this card also really always reminds us, and you know, it's quite a natural thing here at this channel, is to meditate, to really hone in on your practice. If meditation is still a new thing for you, later I'll come back and I'll put a link here to, I have a meditation playlist that you are welcome to check out. There's all sorts of different meditations there. But really, it's practicing stillness. And this is one of the most challenging things. It can be challenging for us because the mind is full of thoughts. So we breathe and we watch the breath and we allow the body to relax. We begin to create the correct conditions for the body to relax. You know, because the moment we start to really relax, we see things differently. We see opportunity where there was just a problem. We see a way out where there was no way in. We see, does that make sense? You get it, it's a haiku. But we also see sometimes that there's really just nothing to do, but just to allow things to be exactly what they are, to bless them, and to keep welcoming love and light into your life, to keep affirming your health, your joy, your blessed, blessed, blessed life. So with that, so very interesting. This is your key, is staying in your spiritual mojo, oneness, unification, energy, like keeping your spiritual wheels activated, this week. I mean, always, right? Yet especially this week. And again, if you're more new, you're like, well, I've meditated a couple times. I'm really, do it a little bit more this week. I encourage you, because what's ahead of us on this top row is very, very powerful. We have these two cards. We have past lives and traveling. And because they're each so powerful, I'm going to hold them up separately as well. And there's this little dot, if I can find it, I think it's right about there. So this card, traveling, I believe right where my finger is, there's a little person walking up, well, a little person from the perspective of what this is. This is the traveling card, and they're walking up, up, up this path all the way. Well, who knows how far they're going, but they are on a journey. You are on a journey. And look at this card, past lives. I mean, this is a trip. There are people in your life now that you know from before. There are people in this life that you have not met yet, but that you know from before. And these aspects are getting ready to converge. They're getting ready to align for you. Now, have you been thinking about traveling? Is it time to move? Are you moving to a new school, to a new city, to a new home? Or is it like a distant vacation, a trip, an educational or a sustainable thing where you go and you give back to the land in Africa or Peru or wherever it might be? But there's something really powerful for here and for you here. And it's the kind of thing where it's, on one hand, yes, it's about you preparing yourself to take the journey, preparing yourself so that you can get on the road with ease and with lightness. It's having what you need in your pack and not a whole bunch of other stuff else, right? It's really traveling light and keeping your eye on the horizon, yet knowing your destination. At the same time, not getting attached to the destination, allowing through your spiritual practices to just be here now, to be present and to keep blessing and giving thanks for what abides as it is now. That keeps you in your spiritual mojo. That keeps you activated and attuned to that divine happenstance. You see, I guess I need to turn this phone off. I apologize. So it's very, very interesting, this past lives, because this speaks to the people that are here that you're already connected with, that are here to help you get to where you're going on your journey. But also there's people that are there once you get there, wherever there is. And it could be the initial bottom of the mountain. It could be en route up the mountain. It could be the people or the person you meet at the top of the mountain. There's people that you know everywhere. If you're watching this right now, I invite you to take a moment. Think about especially the people that are very close to you in your life. It could be friends, could be specific certain family members, but think about who in your life that you feel is from a past life connection. We'll give you a moment. Now, the chances are that when you start really just sitting with this and contemplating, and if you start writing this down, it's actually a trip, because you might find yourself being like, oh, there's probably like 2 or 3 where you're like, if this is real, this past life thing, it's probably, you know, her, him, and her, or her, him, whatever it is. Yet if you keep sitting with it, you'll find that your list will get longer and longer and longer and longer. And you'll start to realize that there's this whole clan, there's this whole tribe of people, not just around you now, but the people that have been in your orbit since before now, right? Whether it's a decade, 2 decades ago, right? And then we consider all the versions of ourselves that we've been, all the versions of who we are and who we know we are still becoming, still growing into. And it's these people, these past life connections, whether it's through friends, family, random people at the UPS store, at the Starbucks, whatever it is, but they see you. And they have their own divine appointment, but they know you as well. Even if they don't know it consciously, there's a deep subconscious level. And again, these are the kinds of people that are going to recognize you and open doors for you. And it might start with them just being like, no, this coffee's on me. Have a good one, you know, and you're like, oh, that's so nice. And hey, maybe that's just a random act of kindness. Yet this week, we're invited to really pay attention to the interconnection and to the possibility of past life connection here, right now. Okay. Do you feel that your father was your son in a past life, that your mother was your daughter, that a friend was your child, that your aunt was your ex-lover? I mean, who knows, right? It could be really bizarre and far out. But as you sit with this, you begin to see even more that invisible interconnection between all of us, and how there's this divine mechanism, these wheels turning in our life, and how no one is separate. Oh God, what's her name? I forget her name, but there's a gal here on YouTube. Soul to Soul is her handle, I believe. If you look up Soul to Soul, and I just found her this week, and I posted like a little 1-minute blip of her on my Instagram. My Instagram is down below as well. If you want to follow, check it out. But she was amazing. And she was basically talking about, like, look, there's so many different moving parts for all of us in all of our life situations. And so be patient. If there's things that you're waiting on, things that you're waiting to hear about the answer or what's going to happen, there's so many different people. There's different times. If there's paperwork, there's so many different hands and hearts involved. And allow for the highest good to be happening and operating, so that all of those pieces coming together will come together and do so in the perfect time and space. We never want to force the puzzle pieces together, right? And this is speaking to this past life connection. So we are relaxing, we are looking around, we are paying attention, we are gathering information, and we are allowing ourselves to be open and available to not only being kind with the harmony card that we started with, but to receiving kindness. Okay, so I'm totally getting right now, there's a theme here, and this is about you being able to receive love. Me being able to receive love, all of us. Bob Marley, could you be loved and be loved? Like, could you be loved? You know, that is so very powerful. And that's what this spring equinox is calling us into, is I get this sense that we've been through all of these cycles, and this is the beginning of a new cycle. It's a new beginning. We just had a new moon. It's definitely time to plant your seeds, right? In your beautiful garden of self, your beautiful garden of your heart, to listen to those seeds that are already there and to begin to plant new seeds, different aspects of what you pray for, what you wish for, what you affirm. Yet, like our flowering card that's on the first card on our second row, she's offering seeds out constantly, and she doesn't mind if they land on the rock, if they land on the sand, in the earth, or in the water. She's simply extending out her truth, her love, her seeds of wisdom, her creativity, her generosity, her beauty, her passion, her kindness, her dreams, her wishes, visions, hopes, whatever all that could be for you. Yet we are not attached to how it comes out, because there is, again, all the moving parts, all of these people, whether you know them or not. There could be a past life connection to you sitting in that office where you put paperwork through that you're like waiting to hear back, and now we're in Mercury retrograde, so we're like, oh, MG, how long is this going to take? But there could be someone who knows you, and the moment that your paperwork falls in their lap on their desk and they see your name, they might just give you a little extra special time, a little extra special. They'll make that extra phone call or two, or go that extra mile. They might not even know why. It may be completely unconscious, but there are forces. This is the message. There are forces working for you and with you this week and always. But this week we are called upon to really pay attention and to open ourselves, again, to receive the love, to receive love, to receive kindness, acts of kindness from others, and also to extend them back and to be unattached. So when you hold the door open for someone at the classroom, at the office, at the UPS store, the Starbucks, and they don't say thank you, and you hold it open for them to walk in, you don't get into a bad mood suddenly and you're like, oh, well, they're pretty, like, you don't go there, right? You're just extending kindness without attachment. And that's that same thing of planting your seeds, sending them out there without needing things then to show up in the way that you think they have to, right? This was a big part of our detachment. We did a detachment, a 4D Trinity a couple weeks ago on detachment. And there's so many different fractals to it. So yes, there are people, there are forces, there are energies that are here to serve you, that are here to serve your journey of you embodying the true version of you. And you know, the cool thing is that there's different people at different levels. So there's people from your past lives that are going to see this version of you, and there's people from your past lives that are going to recognize this version of you, etc., etc., etc. So the more that you unfurl, the more that you flower, the more and more that you come into your true, beautiful self, the more people there are that are going to say, oh, I dig your vibe, or I get it, I get you. Hey, you want to hang out? Or there's just going to be a resonance. It's just going to be so natural. It'll be hard to refuse it, to deny it. So let's move on to the second row, flowering. Okay, so this is you. This is you receiving the love. This is you extending the love. This is very powerful. And you know, it takes courage. It takes so much courage to be loved. It's a major arcana card, as is our past lives card. And I tell the story with this card. The story behind it is that this little flower was once a little tiny seed, right? A little seed that this gal perhaps had just flung out from her sleeves, right? Her story is that she wears these sleeves and that she just sends out through the waving of her arms these beautiful seeds of love and light and of possibility and potential. And again, she doesn't mind. She's not concerned of where they land. She's just extending them, giving them out. And so perhaps one of those seeds landed in this little stone sidewalk here. And the story of the seed and of courage is that a seed can remain a seed, just how we can remain a seed indefinitely. Yet, when the correct conditions are created, the sun shines in a certain way, enough water is added, the weather's good, the weather's fine, that seed begins to activate and germinate, and then it begins to sprout. And the little tiny flower, I mean, think about it. I know a lot of us are in cars. If you're watching in the States, a lot of us drive. So when's the last time you've been to a park or taken a walk, or next time you go for a walk? Look down and notice those little tiny flowers that are growing out of the cracks of the side of the street or the sidewalk. This is us. This takes so much courage for us to allow our truth to not only shine and to be shared, to give love and to receive love, mostly to be and embody love. And that's what the courage card is asking us this week. It's saying, can you be loved? The answer is yes. Yes, you know. And can you be love? Yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I am. And it takes courage. So this courage card, though, is showing us that we are ever present in that courage, that we have that power, that strength in our tummy right here in our third chakra, our I am here, our power to ground our truth, to ground our journey, to ground our love, our light in this earth, in this time and space right now, and to boldly live that love, right? Why is it? Isn't it interesting, the conditioning of the world? This card is on our lower deck, and it's also a major arcana. And when it's a major arcana, it just means that it holds more gravitas. It's like of the main theme, and the other cards are more of the sub themes, right, specific to it. So this courage card, this little flower, next time you see a little flower, right, wow, consider how much courage it takes for that little flower to grow up from that crack in the street, because at any moment, a car could come and run it down, a big boot, a shoe could come and just squash it, an animal could come and just eat it, right? But that's the cycle of life. That's life. Yet you know what life is as well. Life is that little seed saying, here I am loved, I am lovable, and I'm gonna grow, and I'm gonna be here now. And I know that at any moment I could get knocked off the stage, I could get booed off the stage, I could get the big hook coming on and pulling me off, I could get, 15 unlikes or whatever it is. But this is so beyond all of that. This is about you, again, accepting love, being love. So, and this flowering card completely shows us that we are absolutely capable of being this. We are already here. Our aura, look at her aura. And we've had this card a couple times now for the past couple weeks. We are shining, we are glowing, we are in our peace place. Now, because we have this card compromise next to it, if you are not feeling in your peace place with your love, if you're having with your love vibes, and if you're having challenges, which, you know, we are human, right? Sometimes it's 100% and sometimes it's 75 and 65 and 22. You know, it's just different. Yet if we are feeling that we are not fully letting our seed come to pass, letting that seed sprout and germinate and trust love, well, then we get to consider where it is in life we can compromise. Where can we meet life halfway? So look at these sumo wrestlers. If you can see, their pinky fingers are barely touching. Their toes are almost touching. And it shows that they have reached an agreement, a compromise. So it's almost like if you're not ready to fully let your love light shine full on just yet, completely, 100% Vegas lights, here I am, you are here, it's on. If you're like, I'm still freaked out, my journey, my path is a little shaky, I'm not at the top of the mountain yet, I haven't even started, I haven't even put my backpack on, I'm still kind of freaked out, I'm scared, that's okay. So the message here is to allow yourself to meet love with love, even if it's a little bit, little by little. So you don't have to turn into a Mother Teresa overnight. You don't have to start going everywhere and hugging everyone. You know, you don't even need to completely forgive something from the past that causes you pain, yet you might want to go there. It's meeting it to the level that you can, right? In a way that feels good for you, that's comfortable for you, that serves you, so that you can receive the nourishment of knowing that you are courageous. And you're meeting courage to the level that you can meet it here and now, whatever level that is. Because I know love is fierce. And that's why love always wins, right? In every movie, and even in the movie of your life, right? I know of my life, no matter how dark things have been, once I've decided to still be here and not leave this life show, cycles, again, things always shift. That biblical saying, this too shall pass. I know, we've been through some dark times. It has been crazy. It has been wild. It has just been, I mean, it's amazing, right? The more life you live, the older you get, you're like, how did I actually live through that? Or how am I living through this right now? Like, it's absolute faith, it's absolute trust, and it's surrender to a higher power, right? And let's call that higher power for today's reading love, the force of love. In my book, How to Manifest with the Law of Vibration, I speak of love as the quantum organizer. When we let go and we invite love in, it figures out all the details for us. We don't have to have everything figured out. We don't need to control it all. And sometimes we're not even aware. We're not even aware that we're trying to put everything in a box and make it just so. Until one of your very dear friends or family members might say to you, you know, can we talk about this? And then if you are open enough to hear it, maybe you'll be like, oh, I guess I can relax on being so anal in XYZ elemental P. Anyway, moving on, compromising, right? So you might need to meet yourself gently at a level where you can extend kindness or forgiveness or just detachment from a certain person, place, or thing as you move through your journey. Because again, you'll be met with these people that you know from the past, from your past lives. And it's not just life, it's past lives, plural, past lives. Chances are, if you're watching this, you have not only been here before, but you've been here several times before. That means we are all recycled souls and we know each other. That's why we know each other. That's why some people you're like, you're like, I know this vibe. I'm going to I'm going to namaste and keep my distance, you know? And with other people, you're like, oh, I feel like I know you forever. Oh my God, I could totally fall in love with you right now, you know, as a friend or whatever it might be. And that can be romantically too, where you're like, is this like this? Are we taking off from where we left off in a past life? Anyway, when these past life connections come to meet you, again, it can be only challenging where we resist love. So allow yourself to meet your compromise, allow yourself to bend and bow and receive love, be loved, and extend love. And our bottom row is really beautiful and exquisite. We have adventure first up. And this is that child. This is you on your path. And look at all of these beautiful, this light shining from underneath, and then all of these pastel rainbow colors. We don't know. We don't know where we're going. We can think on our journey, right, as we travel through life, or when we travel to Thailand or wherever it is that we feel that we're going. We have an idea. You might even have your plane ticket, and you'll be like, no, I'm going to Chiang Mai in Thailand on May 28th until July 15th. You could get to the airport and they could be like, yeah, no, we're flying everyone to Turkey instead. And you know, what are you going to do? You know, and it's like, life is like that. Life is like that sometimes. So it's an adventure is what the universe is reminding us to keep in mind, so that as we travel on our journey of life, and especially, well, not especially, but including our journey of being on a journey, right, on our path, whether that is specifically a different country, a different state, a different city, or really just you unearthing, right, from all the conditioning in the world that you've been taught, and boldly and courageously living your truth in the world. Life becomes an adventure. This card wants you to orgasm. Yep. Really, really big and really hard, okay? This card wants you to enjoy your life and to remember that it doesn't have to be an adventure. I mean, that it is an adventure. It doesn't have to be the same thing every day, in and out. So this is also calling us to be aware of those patterns we get into. And there's patterns that are great. If you wake up at 8 a.m. every morning and you drink your coffee and then you meditate for 5, 10, 20 minutes, you know, and then you exercise, like there's certain patterns that are like, they really sustain a wellness about you. They support your health, your well-being. You know, you feel good. They serve you. They honor you. They nourish you. Yet there's some patterns in our life that do the opposite for us. And what we're doing is we're allowing ourselves to come back to treating ourselves well, treating ourselves with kindness, and also coming into the sense of adventure where we are so full and overflowing by our own practices of being consistent in our spiritual awareness. And remember, this is the Harmony card, which I promise to paste a picture on that this week. As we move into this courage and our journey and our travels, let us remember that life is all about, in this case, inviting in synchronicity. It's allowing the magic and the mystical and the mystery to be revealed through us and to us. This is what makes it an adventure. So as I was saying, there are certain patterns that serve us, yet if there's certain things that you do the exact same way every single day, over and over again, then life can become very robotic. And we lose that sense of where there's even a space for miracles or magic or that majesty of divine synchronicity to bump into us and to remind us like, oh my God, anything can happen at any moment. At any single moment, all good, amazing things can happen for you, to you, and through you. It is true. Yet, can you believe it? Can you receive it? Could you be loved and be loved? That's what the bottom line of it is. And as we say, yes, I can be loved, and yes, I am loved, right? What happens is the adventure of life begins to take off. And this adventure, again, speaks to living an orgasmic life. It speaks to living life where everything just tastes good, everything just feels good, everything's just all good, right? We move away from judgment. We move away from having to pick at every single thing or every single person or having to judge and be critical. We relax and we are focused. We're focused on having fun, on being well, on treating ourselves kind and extending kindness to others. We get excited, we get fueled, right? Right? Our engines, our spiritual engines get activated to their maximal level, and we begin to experience a different level of life. And when we start to vibrate, your next crew, this is what's up with the past lives, is the next crew of people that you might even know who they are. You might even be like, oh, there's some new people in my orbit. And I wonder if it's Bobby and Jane, you know. But there's this sense of that there's newish people in your orbit that are going to reveal, just by their sheer being, they're going to reveal to you that they are connected to you through a past life. And you know, that's where it feels good and where it feels resonance. It's just a beautiful thing, because you have an ancient friend, an ancient soul, an ancient person there with you to hear you, that sees you, that has seen you, right? Even if all the information is locked way down in a subconscious level, but there's a knowing that's in here that can never be taken away. And again, I see a lot of hugging, like reunion. And you might be like, you know, you could be like, oh my God, past life, ah, you know, and be all like this, but you might just be like, I'm so happy we know each other. I'm so grateful we met and that we're meeting, and let's just hug this out and share the love, you know? So this is interesting, right? We're gonna get to celebration here shortly, but we have this other major arcana card, which I spoke about earlier, that is conditioning. And conditioning speaks to us taking on the beliefs of our family, of our cultures, of society, of mass media. And it speaks to us not living our truth. The story of this card is that the lion as a cub grew up with a family of sheep. And he loved the sheep, but he thought he was a sheep. And if you can see closely, there's a sheep tied to his back, tied to his legs. And as he grows up, though, he's realizing that something might be different from himself to the other people in his family. And the story is that one day he's at the lake and he's drinking water, and the water is very still. And he comes to see his reflection in the lake, and he realizes that he looks completely different, that he looks like a lion and that he's not a sheep. And he loves the sheep. He blesses them. They helped him. That he wouldn't be here without them, right? He wouldn't be here now. But he also begins to realize that he is his own individual person, and that all of the things that he learned about living in the world as a sheep do not apply to him. They do not apply to him or her. So in our lives, this is the same activation of energy that's happening, where through this new cycle coming in, through this spring equinox coming in, we are in a greater level of light, right? Just physically in the world. And as we keep our light side, our heart, our third eye activated, we sustain the light within us and all around. And we begin to see. It just happens naturally. And it happens when you have the divine reflection of beings that know you and that talk on a level and communicate with you where you're like, oh yes, this is the real deal. This is the true here. This resonates with me. Even having those conversations with people that you feel this with begins to peel back the layers of things that you had put your value into, beliefs, criticisms, again, judgments towards the world or towards others, in again, politics, religion, sex, culture, money, finances, creativity. What do you want to be when you grow up? Just all these things of what you can and can't do in the world. Well, the lion learned that they are not like the rest of the sheep, and that they can, in fact, garner their courage and grow into being the true them, the true version of themselves. So that's what we're invited to do this week. And what's here on that bottom level is this celebration. This is us absolutely capable. We are so capable. We are so absolutely calibrated and ready and capable to rise, to show up as our true self. And as we show up as our true self, this is us celebrating with those people from our past lives that are here again. This is us being like, woo, you know, I see you too. Isn't it so beautiful to see others, to really see them and to be seen as well, as your authentic self, as your true authentic self, to be seen and to give that, it's an honor, right? It's also pretty scary to let yourself really be seen. Sometimes we just save it for the stage. You know, as a songwriter, I know for years, my deep, deep stuff I saved for those songs that I sang on the stage. And I didn't really talk about them. Otherwise, it was just in that song, all of those feelings or those parts of my true self. And so when we have the opportunity to meet with this collective one by one or as a party of some and reconnect, there is just so much love. So yes, could you be loved and be loved? Can you be seen and see, right? So it's not just about us being seen in our authentic truth, but it's like allowing that honor and extending it out to others. I see you, brother. I see you, sister. I see you, my friend. I see you, my mother, my father, my uncle, you know, my family. I see you. I see you. And I lift you up. When we see each other, we lift each other up. And it is such a beautiful thing. I'm going to check the time. Okay. One very last Voyager card. We did this last week. I think we're going to start doing this regularly. One last Voyager card to send us on our way. So let's take a breath and give these a shuffle. And we'll ask these cards. We'll just bring all of our guides, all of our love and our light and our ascended masters and all those light beings that love us into this card that wants to be pulled. And we're, oh, there it goes. It just flew out. I was just going to say, we're going to ask for divine counsel with regard to the spring equinox. So let's see what it brought for us. OMG, there's two. Okay. Woman of Worlds, Preserver, and Child of Wands, Seeker. So this is Woman of Worlds, Preserver, and Child of Wands, Seeker. Okay, let me have a look here. Child of Wands. You are a seeker, symbolized by your wands, the walking stick and arrows you use to hunt down the truth. Like the meditator, seek to know who you are, and as a journeyer, seek to understand where you have come from and why, and where you are going. Be a student seeking to learn the whys and hows of life. Like the child, employ your natural animal-like perceptual abilities to find the truth. Really look like the deer. Really hear like the rabbit. Really feel with your whiskers. Really smell like the mouse. And really taste like the wolf, your life. Through this direct sensory experiencing, you know life. Like the animal, trust your instincts. Listen to what your senses have to say. Now, this is so beautiful because remember at the very beginning, we were talking about this sensual life, this ability to just really enjoy and savor everything, right? And to have that orgasmic life, as we were talking about later on. And it fully resonates, right? Like the meditator, meditate that you are, seek to know who you are. And as a journeyer, right, goes with our traveling card, seek to understand where you have come from and where you are going. And now the preserver, woman of worlds. You are the mother. This goes for male and female. A preserver of young life through its creation and nurturing. You preserve life by providing the home, the nest, the egg, the womb, the earth, in which the young can grow in love, security, and comfort. Gifted in the homemaking arts, create the essential life support system of shelter, food, clothing, weaving, tools. You are the keeper of tradition. Maintain the social fabric of home and family. Conserve the arts by practicing them. Preserve the body through proper nutrition and exercise. Express yourself through your body with sensuality and grace. Your fertility symbolizes your robust physical health. Also, protect the earth body by helping to keep the natural ecology healthy. You are the mother or preserver of young life through its creation and nurturing. You preserve life by providing the home. So this is also speaking deeply to our flowering card, right? This is fertility. This is your creativity. This is your juiciness. These are all of your seeds that are waiting to be planted, waiting to be watered through your honoring, through your acknowledgement of them, so that they can courageously, like our little courage card, begin to extend up and grow and be seen and be heard and be loved. I thank you so much for joining me today. I bless you and I thank you so much. All of my information is down in the description box. If you are not signed up to my monthly love letter, I send out a newsletter, aka love letter, every month. Go down to the description box and you'll see where you can sign up at my website. And you will also receive a free copy of my mini book, The Higher Self Blueprint of Mastery. Thank you again, all of my new subscribers, everyone for watching and supporting. Namaste with so much love. Blessings.